Good afternoon, iRacers. Welcome to Apex Racing TV. Alex Simpson and Jake Blackhall here for another round of the Sim Racers Asia GT Championship. We are at the Nordschleife for today's race. The combined circuit, team event, 90 minutes, one team driver swap we're expecting. Going to be very, very interesting on more ways than one. Interesting to see if my system will hold up while looking at this glorious track in all of its detail and be able to stream it all at the same time without crashing. And then of course whether or not we're going to see cars finishing this 90-minute race intact as well. Jake, welcome to the comms box, mate. You've obviously been far more involved in this series than I have this year. Looking pretty close in the championship standings at the moment. A few drivers that look like they've got a chance. You've got Winkleman, Tobias Cherney, Simon, Hammond, all sort of in and around that area at the top, and anyone could clinch this title with just a few rounds to go.
Yeah, thank you, Alex, and welcome everyone. It's very tight at the top of the championship between those four drivers, especially between Anthony Winkleman and Simon Feigl and Tobias Cherney, especially after last week with a little incident that Anthony Winkleman had with a lap car that lost a bundle of points while leading. So he's in a bit of a spot where he's lost that championship lead that he had, and to come to Nordschleife with that little bit of a points gap that he doesn't have anymore, it's a bit of a struggle. He's going to have to push to try and get a good spot here and just try and finish it. Like you were saying, Alex, this racetrack, you've got to be there to finish it here in Nordschleife. It's one of those tracks that one little mistake, it's going to hurt, and it's going to hurt hard, especially with the driver's help. You want to make sure that you're on your money here, and qualifying at the moment is going well with Tobias Cherney on front row with Anthony Winkleman alongside him.
Yeah, indeed. Just looking at the obviously 21 teams out there right now. Yeah, it's going to be. I think we'll see quite a lot of separation today. I think it's fair to say. Looking at the times in qualifying right now, front guys are sitting on 8 minute 15 laps, and then it's a gap to sort of 8:20, 8:24. There's a good bunch around that sort of area, and then. We're sort of into the 8:40s as well towards the back. So still some to set a time, and we've only got 3 minutes left as well. It's very easy, I imagine, to get an off track here and invalidate your lap. So the guys have had half hour to get a time in. So but you're only really going to get 3-4 attempts, depending on how quickly you reset and things like that. So it seems like quite a long time to get a lap in, but actually it's not many attempts out there.
Yeah, that's right. Not many attempts at all, especially when you've got to factor in an out lap as well as a fast lap. By the time you get that done, that's 16 minutes gone. So you could maybe get 2 fast laps if you want to get some fresh tyres on the car, and then go again. And it's one off track around here, and there goes your lap. You could be halfway through when you get an off track, and that spoils the entire lap. And sometimes it can be painful, but a lot of these drivers have done a good job to be able to post some solid times, especially the two up front in the 8 minute 15 bracket. It's a pretty quick time for those two out in front. And I think, that little bit of a battle between, I think it's from 3rd on through to 7th now in qualifying. The 8 minute 20 bracket is going to be pretty close in race pace as well. But honestly, it doesn't matter about how fast you are around here. It's about surviving, especially in these GT3 cars. One little mistake, you hit the curb wrong, you could be in the fence, and if you don't survive to the end, you're going to lose points. You'll lose positions, and you'll lose ultimately trying to get to the end and get a maximum bonus point.
Yeah, I mean, just a few weeks ago we were here for the MSA British Touring Car Pro Series, and they were, I think the driver that stood out for me, that one, Dan Hunt, was absolutely, Dan Kraft, absolutely flying around here, and way out in front, and then with what was the last lap of the race, just stuffs it into the wall. So people have got to be on their guard at all times. So seem to have some server issues out there as well today. Everybody seems to be dropping in and out. So seen it a few times in practice and in qualifying as well. So we'll keep an eye on this. We've obviously had problems with the iRacing service in recent weeks, so let's hope that it's not a recurrence of that.
Yeah, hopefully it isn't a recurrence of that. It'd be good to get the race done. It could also be this track. It's such a big track to run on, especially for the servers to be able to withstand and to still have some cars going around here. And like 20 cars isn't much, especially when you factor in the VLN championship. But even then, I heard there was some issues with the VLN servers. Some of the lower categories had some issues connecting and disconnecting as well there. So it's good to still have a lot of these guys mainly in at the moment. Hopefully they'll be able to all get it through to the end without any trouble as qualifying comes to a finish in about 30 seconds.
Yeah, I imagine they won't get a chance to finish their lap, so it's kind of, you got to get it done before the timer clocks out. Not sure how Mark has got it set. It depends how much he's give the time, I guess. So I think the way it'll work is the checkered flag will come out, and they'll probably have about 20 seconds to finish their lap if they're on it. If not, then that will be that. Let's just wait. There's the checkered flag. Anyway, we're just looking at Lars right now. In that,
12 minutes, sorry Alex, they got 12 minutes, so they could complete a lap.
Yeah,
it's
so
pretty decent time.
Yes, Mark's been generous there, the admin, letting them finish their lap. So, what was a half an hour qualifying has just turned into about 40 minutes.
Yeah, the extra little bit of time, just giving them that extra lap to get it done. And yeah, Lars Jefferson really pushing at the moment. He's sitting in P number 3 for Mad Car Racing, 8 minute 20. So not as in that 8 minute 15 bracket. 5 seconds around here though can be made up in a lot of areas. A little mistake here and there, and you can lose some time. It's not like a short track where if you're 5 seconds off, you'd be trying to figure out where the hell are you losing all that time, because it's such a short track. But here it's a long track. You can make a 10th here, a 10th there, and it all adds up.
Yeah, when we talk in 90-minute race, you know, it's we're only talking what, 10, 11 laps.
Yeah, if that.
Not many. So with driver swap involved as well. Yay. Oh well, that's that then for Lars.
Yep.
Just lost the back end, and yeah, there's no runoff area there. And I think that was, who was that? Who was coming through? Was that Bence? Yeah, it was Bence who was coming through in his Merc, and had to take some avoiding action. That'll slow him down a little bit, but he's got quite some time to find as well. An 8 minute 24 best lap. So yeah, showing on screen that he did an 8:23. I'm guessing that was with an off track or something the previous time through, because it hasn't counted.
Oh, I've got it counting on my scene. 8 minute 23.365 is their best at the moment. Him and Michael Hammond in a laser racing Mercedes. So I think Bence is just getting some laps under his belt, because I don't think he has had any in qualifying. So just trying to get a little bit of a feel for the car. I think it's 3 laps minimum that they have to do for the driver swap. So in a 10-lap race is technically half the race. You may as well try and split it up and get as much out of the tank as possible, and sort of just half the tyre strategy around here. I don't know how bad the tyres will be around here, but there's a lot of corners to factor in, so it could be a bit of wear going on over the full distance.
Yeah, and of course fuel obviously going to be an issue. Definitely going to need to fill that car up. No just a little splash and dash or stop and go like we've seen in previous races. Drivers are going to have to physically fill this car up. There's no way they're going to make 90 minutes out of a tank of fuel today, so yeah, that's going to be an interesting little change. So strategy could play out. Are we expecting most people to take tyres out there? Do you think there will be a couple like the BMWs? They always seem to be good on their tyres. They might try and risk it without taking tyres, or if you've got to do a driver swap, you might as well have them at the same time.
Well, that's the thing. You could come in, especially the BMWs. They don't really need to put tyres on it. Their tyre life's really good. But then you look at the McLaren of Tobias and Alex Cherney. That car just disintegrates those tyres after a couple of laps. It's just dead in the water. So that could be a little bit of a strategy game. They may lose time depending if they put fresher tyres on in the McLaren cars or any of the other cars, but then they could also gain that over the race distance. So that could be another interesting little strategy that we will see develop, whether people put tyres on or not. But definitely have to put a full fuel of tank in and try and get these cars home around here. It's going to be very difficult to say the least.
Shows how late to the game we were as well. It was actually a 2-hour qualifying session, so they had loads of times. What are these people doing back here? It's from 16th all the way down at the moment. Currently haven't set times, so that doesn't bode too well for the race, does it?
No, it doesn't. Especially 2-hour qualifying session. Come on, it's only 8 minutes in that time. Now you've sort of opened up the gap to maybe 20 laps you can do in the qualifying session and be able to get one done. But hopefully they can all get it done in the race. It's the thing of pushing to that limit in qualifying, as I've just seen Bent just tag the fence. I think that one is done. And that's the thing, you're pushing really hard in qualifying and you're trying to get the maximum out of the car, and if you're just doing a race run, you're sort of more hesitant on pushing that car to the limit. You're still trying to get the best you can out of it, but around here you're trying not to, because if you do that, you could hit the fence and have a lot of damage.
A few other cars just pulling off as well. Benson's continued just finishing that off. Looks like current 7th place on the grid. Oh, that's into the barrier as well, so that's that qualifying run done and dusted as well.
Yeah, he just got loose on the curb there and it just threw it up into the outside wall, and that's all it needed for the BMW, but he's going on with it again. I think the lap's done, but just trying to get more laps under their belt and trying to learn the track, because it is a hard track to learn. You can't memorize it as well as others.
Yeah, we used to, what, 12, 13 turns at most normally? It's not many that are over that, so... Yeah, don't want to know how many this is. I'm sure some of the fanboys will...
70-something lap corners around here.
Must be someone in TeamSpeak, not TeamSpeak, on YouTube that can just throw us that answer right now. But, yeah, there's an awful lot to learn. I even remember sort of back in the day with Gran Turismo, because it was like one of the tracks that you used to have to learn for your license, like the different segments and sectors, stuff like that. I remember doing all of those, but I still couldn't remember it now. The other day I went on there, I had no idea where I was going. I'm like, nope.
Yeah, it's a bit like that. It's one of those tracks that you just, I don't know, I've had a couple of long races around here and it's sort of helped me, especially I did a 24-hour race on Forza 4 by myself, which was a long race. Don't ask me why I decided to do that. But sort of bringing it to iRacing again, I sort of had an idea of Nordschleife and where everything went, but even again, coming to iRacing is a completely different track again. The realism that they put into this track is absolutely amazing. To be able to get every bump, every detail, every hill, every curb that's in the right spot, and trying to memorize all that compared to other versions of it, it's absolutely amazing what they can do with iRacing software, and hopefully we can see that with all the new tracks, especially Imola coming out next month.
Yeah, looking forward to Imola. That's going to be that is going to be great. I think it's a classic track. I wonder what combinations they're going to have. I wonder if they're going to have some of the old ones in there as well. So
that's actually an interesting thought.
Yeah, they can't run them through safety nowadays, but that doesn't mean that they're not going to put them on there. Look at what we got for Monza. For that's there's a lot of that track that doesn't get run anymore.
Yeah, very true.
They still brought that in. So yeah, that'd be good to see.
It would be good. It would be interesting, to be honest, if we get to run some of the F1s, like the modern day F1 on the old Imola from like 87 or something like that. You know what I mean? Mixing it up a lot would be really cool to see, but we'll see what happens when they bring that track out. I've heard some rumours that there could be another car that they're bringing out with it. A lot of people have been speculating over that, and it would be interesting whether it is what people are saying that they're bringing out with it that may mix up what people are thinking, especially in the F1 world.
Yeah, well, qualifying just about finished, so we'll go through those in a moment. But there's obviously that little bit of footage, isn't there, with the V10 sounding car in the background or whatever it is. So yeah, a lot of speculation as to what that is. I personally think if they're going to do anything, it'll be a Formula 3.5. But a lot of people saying it's going to be a 90 styles F1 car as well. So well, who knows?
We'll see when it gets released. It'll mix it up, and especially with the GT3 cars, Sim Races Asia, and that these cars run around there in 24-hour endurance races around Imola nowadays. So it's good to have that sort of track coming in, and it will definitely throw up a lot of competition in the GT3 and other series.
We have had the answer thrown at us as well from a couple of different people. So 170 turns for the combined circuit. So yeah, you're not going to learn that in a weekend, are you?
No, not at all. I don't think I could learn that in a night, let alone doing it practice in just like the 2-hour qualifying session. You wouldn't be able to learn that at all.
Well, I think qualifying is just about done, Jake. Do you want to take us through the grid just while Bence finishes his lap?
Yeah, I'll run us through the grid here. So, taking pole position here would be Team RSO number 117, which is the McLaren of the Cherney brothers, Tobias and Alex on the front row. Then second is Green Hornet Racing number 96. I'd say that's Anthony Winkleman and Nathan Groudon in that car, which it is. And then Mad Car Racing, Buttercup on P number 3 with Laser Racing, which is Bentz and Hammond in P4. Then you got ERA and PMS Racing Simulators car in P number 5 with the other Green Hornet Racing car in 6. Archipelago Racing and BM Racing take out row number 4 with Delta Sim Sport, and ABR Team Simulated Laser Racing, so another laser car down in P10. Just on the outside, we've got Apex Mafia Racing in 11th with Apex Racing UK in P12. Then the two Macau iRacing teams in 13th and 14th, followed by Pan Pacific Sim Racing in 15th, and the rest of the field without a time. So Damo Racing, whichever one we want to call that one. Mark 1 Racing Korea, the A team, Goanna Racing, another Eurasia Archipelago car, and Thunder Sim Racing round out the field.
Waiting for the server to tick on over.
We've got about 2 minutes, I think, before we'll be able to get on the grid, and then hopefully it's a grid start. Don't know whether it's going to be rolling. If it's a rolling, I hope it's pretty short. I think they start on the long back straightaway. I don't have a name for that one. Yep. Yeah, hopefully they do, because I don't want to go through a whole lap of warm up around.
We don't want to be here for 24 hours just waiting for the warm up. 30 mile an hour, little Sunday afternoon drive around there, you know.
It's still an awesome track, and it's good to have this now available in iRacing and to all its goodness and its difficultness as well, if that's even a word. I don't even know what you'd call this track on the difficulty scale. It's sort of off that. This doesn't need to have a difficulty scale for this track. It's just on its own up there at the top, and then the rest are about 5 foot under.
Yeah, for anyone who hasn't seen it, wants to see it, I mean, I haven't got everything turned on full right now. Just because I'm broadcasting as well, and I just can't max everything out while doing that, as Bentz just runs a little bit wide. I think it's going to be him. I was just going on board so we could show the track in all its glory, but he jumps out of it and ruins all my fun.
Always ruining the fun.
Well, that's what it looked like for a short second anyway. I think we got about 5 seconds in the car.
I think we'll be able to get an on-board lap in the 11 laps of this race. I don't think we'll be able to sit on board for the whole lap, but we'll get a section of it most probably going, depending on where everyone is at. I think we've only got 30 seconds. I think that's the end of the 2 hours and 10-minute qualifying session.
Probably the best way to do that as well, because of how difficult it is to get a lap in. So just have it as the practice server as well.
Yeah, I definitely feel like that's the easiest way to go about it, especially if people haven't practiced it. They'll be wanting to get a little bit of practice in, trying to learn the track, and which you sort of can't, but understand as much as you can, put a little bit of setup time into it, and see what the boys can put up. But I think the cars will be grading up now, 21 cars. Looks like we'll have a good field. It's a grid start.
Well, that's a little different. We were expecting a rolling one, but yeah, why not?
Why not make them?
Everyone's aware of it and ready for it. Should be fine.
Yeah, that's right. As long as everyone knows it's what everyone's doing and you can figure out to get the cars off the line, that's the thing. Gonna have to turn the traction control off for the race start, and then if some people are using it, bump it back up for the lap, because I don't think you want to run around here without traction control, at least on a couple of clicks.
Waiting for the last few cars to grid. Apparently, there's a couple of teams that just sort of messed up their registration to the server, and wrong car or whatever it was, so they won't be able to race as well. It's a bit unfortunate for them. So, did he done? I guess. Our race pole sitter. Been all sorts of connection problems out there.
Yeah, it looks like it's having an issue at the moment, but it looks like we've got some of the cars on the grid now. It should be about 30 seconds from the race start. And yeah, unfortunate to see some guys messing up with the team issues. It would be good to have a couple more guys in here, but we've still got a good field.
So that's probably the worst I've ever seen Tobias's connection, so not going to not the most pleasant to drive around when somebody's flashing away like that, so I hope that really does sort itself out. Here we go then. What is 90 minutes racing around the Nordschleife Sim Racers Asia Series. Oh, it's a good start, I think, from Winkelmann. Got a little bit of wheel spin, but got good drive off the line. He's going to be surely into the corner first. Tobias with his McLaren trying to hold it around the outside. There's no way he's going to do that. Oh, just gets his nose chopped off there as well.
Yeah, I think he actually clipped the inside barrier of that turn 2 complex coming through the Mercedes arena as they cut off the Mercedes arena. It's actually let Michael Hammond up into P2, and Anthony Winkelmann is gone out in front.
Yeah, very quickly, and yeah, Tobias is all over the shot right now. So Hammond obviously going to be a bit wary of that as well, so as they go work their way through the GP circuit initially before they head onto the ring. Oh, we've got some contact a bit further back. I'm not sure who that was. I think it was just a little bit of rubbing. Nothing going on too much out there. So that's a little bit of rubbing. Tucked up behind Gary Cousins right now.
Yeah, he's tucked up right behind that Mercedes. He's not going to have a look. One of the other cars behind him, that was Nino Tang, is behind them, with Federico also was having a look there under braking. I don't think he was able to get it done. He wasn't, so he's sitting in behind them. But Scott Newton looks like he usually in the cameras doing the directors, and he looks like he's having a good go out there trying to get past Gary Cousins. I think in front of them that was Ian Ford having a look on Lachlan Crowe, or the other way around. But good battles already starting to form out there.
Yeah, I think Ford's gone past Lachlan there as well. So also already got a bit of separation started to form up. So where there was that little bit of rubbing, there must have been some.
Oh, Gary Cousins is around. Sorry, Alex. Yeah, Gary Cousins got tapped, and he is around at the entry to the Nordschleife section. A lot of damage to the front of that Mercedes. He's trying to flick spin it or reverse it, 300-point turn, and he's gonna maybe not hit the fence. He's got it going. Off he goes.
That's painful when you know you've got another. What is that? 87 minutes to go. So
yeah.
Already got damage on the wing there as well, and on both front wings. So yeah, not great at all. Hammond is been able to hold off Tobias so far, but Winkelmann 2.7 seconds clear already. So absolutely flying, and we're only just really got onto the Nordschleife.
Yeah, to be able to get 2.7 seconds at the moment already, and yeah, like you're saying, we're only just on the Nordschleife. We haven't even done the hundreds and something corners. I think we've only done 20, so to be able to pull that sort of a gap, he's done a good job. And Tobias is still just having a little bit of a blinking around there. Hopefully it's not distracting Hammond too much, that he's able to keep going. And also I think it's Hayden Burns there in the Mad Car Racing car, so they've sort of got a little bit of a blinking sandwich at the moment with him in between, and just hoping that they don't get caught up in anything from it.
Yeah, I think Hayden just needs to sort of sit there and just sort of be patient, see what happens. He knows how quick Tobias is. If anything is going to happen, Tobias is going to be the one make the move and then try and get past both of these cars, because yeah, trying to go for a move when the car in front is doing what it's doing right now, near enough impossible. It's not only is it just disappearing and reappearing, but it's also shifting from side to side as well.
Yeah, it's sort of got everything going on with that McLaren at the moment, and I think that's the best bet for Hayden Burns, to sit there behind him, figure out what he's going to do, change up his strategy obviously accordingly. He's got a good teammate, Lars Epperson, being the pro driver for the Mad Car Racing team, so he's got a good driver there that will be able to crank out some laps and just try and sit there and see what Tobias does. It's hard to know what Tobias is doing and how his car is actually reacting at the moment, and I think that's what's putting him off of attacking Hammond as well.
Yeah, because I bet he's seeing these guys disappearing in front of him as well, to a point. You know, it's only his connection, but you know, other people will be shifting around a little bit for him too. So, but yeah, just to talk about Madcow, they had a good weekend at Silverstone a couple of weeks back. Obviously, controversial round and whatnot going on there in the Blancpain GT Series. We won't go into the finer details of that, but of course, yeah, the DDoS attack on the server caused so many problems there, and people losing laps, and I think some teams lost 2, some just lost 1, and others didn't lose any. So it's just yeah, the result was all over the place at the time.
Yeah, it was a big thing, but hopefully it doesn't happen again. That's all we can sort of say about it. Is I think Tobias is going to have a look on Hammond. This is going to be scary for Hammond. I think you'll just want to let him through and get it done. The McLaren with the top end speed is actually going to get that done pretty easily there through this long section of the track, and I think Hammond is just going to have to now sit in behind. Just doesn't have that legs of the McLaren to keep up.
Nah, it looks like Hammond's also just put an awful lot of downforce on that Merc as well. So, because they're not an awful lot slower than the McLaren in a straight line once they're wound up, to be honest. But it's just the you know, if you've got a lot of downforce on it, then it will be. And I think, you know, there's a different mindset that will go out there for drivers, whether or not they're going to you know, they're going to worry about the straight line speed, or they're going to worry about losing it in the corners. You know, if you're confident in this track, you can take the downforce off because it is a quick flowing circuit. But yeah, if you're a little bit less confident and you just want to make sure you stay out the barriers, then you pile that downforce on.
Yeah, that's right. Downforce is your friend here. It's just, that's what you sort of want, especially with the being not confident and all. It is a nice fast flowing track, especially I was driving the Kia in the VLN series. I know it's not a GT3 car, but it's still got its own little perks, this track, and you can definitely tell how fast and flowing it is. So I can imagine how enjoyable it will be in a GT3 car to go around here, and the way this track flows from section to section, you can really get the car hooked up. And I reckon a lower downforce setup would actually be better around here, especially with the straightaway, and I think that's what Tobias and Anthony Wickham have got with their confidence in their car around here.
Yeah, Tobias already pulling away. All of a sudden, Hammond's coming under a bit of pressure from Hayden now, so Hayden wants through as quick as he can get.
Oh yeah, I don't know whether he's going to be able to have a look through this section. It's just the little bit of a jump there that they get airborne. Hammond, yeah, really struggling with the car at the moment. He obviously lost that spot to Tobias, but yeah, straight in the clutches of Hayden Burns, and he'll be wanting to get it done as soon as possible because he knows he's got Lars. Oh, I think Tobias has had an issue. Yes, he has had an issue because he's lost a lot of speed, so he had a little bit of a slide. I thought I seen it. And he's he's pulled back to them, so all that time he gained, he's lost it again.
For me, it was like upside down, and I just thought it was connection. Again, I was like, oh no. So, yeah, but like you say, must have had just a little moment or something there. That's opened the door for Hayden for a moment. Can't quite get through. So, of course, the BMW going to be super strong through the corners, and very difficult to overtake. Let's see what he can do. Tucked up in the slipstream. Might be long enough to get it wound up, but I think Hammond's still just enough in the draft of Tobias. Hayden pulls out, and alongside he's got enough momentum. That, I tell you what, that shows you right there how much downforce Hammond's got on that Merc.
Yeah, to be able to have a BMW nearly blow the doors off the Merc, it's a bit uncharacteristic of him, but he's still side by side with him. It's going to be interesting who's going to break first and who's going to flinch. None of them are. Oh, I think Hammond just backed out of it there. Didn't want to get involved in anything.
Yeah, Burns there, very confident on the that he can brake that late. We know how good the BM is on the brakes as well. So usually when you're side by side like that, going to braking zone, you've got to pull something off if you're going to hold on to a position when you're up against the BM going into those braking zones.
Yeah, definitely. They're very strong under brakes, and it looks like that's what he was able to benefit from there. But I was just having a look back. There is an awesome battle going on from 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. I think it's 13th, all in one thing. I think it's Martin Silvassi here for Apex Mafia Racing with Nino
sorry,
Tang.
no,
you're right.
Jay, I'm just having a quick look at Ford up the inside of Crow as well. So I'm sure that's the second time he's made that move in this race. But yeah, moves himself up into 6th place. I don't know if he had some sort of mistake on the previous lap or something, but yeah, back up and into 6.
Yeah, it was a good move there down into turn 1 as we were looking back there. He's had a great move down the inside, confident under brakes, and he's already started to pull a gap on Lachlan Crow, which is good for the ERA drivers, especially with Simon Feigl, knowing that Anthony Winkleman's out in front right now, starting to pull away. They'll be wanting to try and make up as much ground as they can to get as good as points as possible.
Having a little look at that battle that you were talking about now as well. So yeah, you're right, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, all pretty much tucked up. So yeah, DK Lee just rounds out that sort of group.
Yeah, they were having a look down the straight. I thought it was going to be like the Mazdas in the VLN going about 5 wide down the back straight. They were all having a look on each other, but no one was able to really capitalise on each other because it looked like the Mercedes had the better straight line speed of all 4 of them, was able to hold on. But they definitely were closer through that section. It looks like the front 2, Nino Tan and Martin Silvassi, have just started to pull away from the others.
Yeah, I think we're just, like you say, I think we're going to see some separation pretty much from sort of like 2, 3 onwards, and then it's just going to be a case of keeping an eye out on who makes the mistakes when drivers pit, and see if their teammates are a little bit quicker as well. Going to be, yeah, very interesting to see how that pans out. Completely different challenge. There's not many people that know this circuit like the back of their hand, and you know, if you have one with a team that's just a little bit lower down, that can make all the difference.
Yeah, that's right. Especially knowledge of this circuit is always going to be the thing that will help, especially in any sort of category. Doesn't matter what car you're driving. The knowledge around here is what will get you the ultimate pace. And yeah, the separation has already started to sort of form. There's still the top 3, or well, I wouldn't say top 3. I'd say 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. As Anthony Winkleman is still just skipping away nicely out in front. It's a little bit close, but not close enough for a battle to form. It looks like they've sort of found their positions and their air gap, and they're just going to float around there. And looks like the Apex Racing car's just in a bit of a gap at the moment, all by its lonely self. It's got Newton down in P8.
Yeah, Scott took a little while to get by some of the people ahead of him, I think, and let's let the sort of the 2 that were fighting earlier on, Ford and Crow, just slip away a little bit. So we'll see what he can do, whether or not he can close back up onto the to the back of them or not. But yeah, rather nice looking BMW, if I don't say so myself.
Very good looking BMW, I have to say. I've always been fond of that car, and it does look very nice indeed for an Apex Racing car. It's absolutely amazing, and it's just interesting to see how quickly this field spread out. I thought some people would have been in a good battle, especially with the qualifying times, but that just shows people taking it easy and just trying to make it to the end. It's one of the things that you want to do, and like we were saying at the start, Alex, if you don't make it to the end, you're not going to benefit from anything at the end. If someone makes a mistake, like you're saying with the BSRTC, with Daniel Kraft or whatever it was, I think it was that you were saying was leading and then made the mistake on the last lap, that could happen here as well, so you want to be there at the end to benefit from it.
Jump on board with Hayden here. He's closing in on Tobias actually, so obviously good confidence in the car with the fuel on board.
It just looks a little bit stronger at this present stage in the Mad Car Racing BMW. This is where the McLaren's going to pull away down this straight. It's just going to start to skip out just a little bit, but he's in his draft, so he should be able to hold on to him quite nicely and not lose too much time to Tobias in front.
Yeah, and that section all absolutely flat out as well. Only a little lift there, just probably a bit of a safety lift, but that's where the BMW will be strong in corners like that, where it's very, you see Tobias ran just a little bit wide, but no such issues for Hayden. That extra downforce that this BM's able to produce does help him through those sections. So it's yeah, it's not all the McLaren's way in the fast areas as well. I think, like you say, the big back straight, of course, that's I can't see a replication of what we saw earlier on, where Hayden was able just to stream straight past down the straight. I think Tobias will physically pull away through there this time.
Yeah, I think he will, but definitely the BMW looks really strong. Obviously, we know the car's strong through the corners, but it looks like they've got this thing hooked up compared to that McLaren in front. It just looks like, don't know whether the tyres would be going off this early. I don't think they'd be struggling that much, but yeah, just running a bit wide to buy assist through a couple of corners on the exit and just struggling, but it looks like he's got the car hooked up through this part of the track at the moment. He's using a lot of curb as well. Both of them are actually trying to maximise as much as they can, but a little bit wide there for him. Tobias in front of Hayden. Just looks like he's just struggling a little bit with the car, trying to get the car turned, but it looks like he's maybe could just be trying to keep a nice flow up throughout the section.
A little pack starting to form back up again that we were talking about earlier on as well. So Martin just oh, what's gone on? I've just all of a sudden Hayden's just dropped off of my my timing screen.
Yeah, he has dropped off of mine too. I've lost him completely.
If he comes back, it could be a disconnect problem. So well, I suppose better to do it, you know, 15 minutes into the race than you know, 85 or something like that. But, yeah, what a nightmare, dropping down that timing screen now as well. So I think we're going to see a throughput error any moment.
That is unfortunate if that has happened and he's lost that connection, because he was really closing on Tobias, and he could have maybe started to hang with Tobias and just maybe have a look on the next couple of laps, even though the laps are about 8 minutes long. But he would be having a little look to maybe have a challenge there.
Just switch our attention to Paul Nelson. He's close to Nuno ahead just at the moment, so I think he got an opportunity. I mean, look at the difference in lap time. There's 30 seconds difference between what these are doing and the leaders at the moment. So from that last lap, so. And I know Paul well enough to know that he's not 30 seconds a lap slower than some of these people. It's just purely down to you know, how well he knows the circuit. So not a set-up thing or anything like that. That's just having that confidence to be able to push the car.
Yeah, that's right. And Hayden has just lost his connection there as well. He's fell through, so that is unfortunate for them. I'd say Lars will be on standby and will be getting in the car. And I don't know whether they'll lose a lap, but they'll lose a lot of time there. And yes, that's the thing, especially on the timing. So you can't really say you're fast around the Nurburgring. Like Paul Nelson, like you're saying, is very good and capable driver of being not 30 seconds a lap slower than the guys out in front. It's just all about the knowledge around here, and the knowledge sort of goes with the timing sheet.
Yeah, we're just watching these three on the straightaway. Now they're closing in on each other, but that's about it. Right, that Merc is pretty quick of Martin ahead there as well. So the Apex Mafia racing team seem to be able to carry that straight line speed.
Looks like Nielsen's very close to.
Yeah, very close. Got a good run for that final sector.
Yeah, he may be able to have a look going down into turn one. Had a look but didn't thought better of it. And is that Ian Ford's in the pits as well?
Yeah, Ford into the pits. I wonder why we suddenly saw the position change. So is that going to be a driver swap for him, or?
Well, they've just pitted. There's no damage on the car. I just had a look back. No mistake, no nothing. He's just come in the pits, and he's just come back out. Strategy play there? I don't know. It's still a long way to go. Maybe there's a short fuel that maybe there's 2 stops in this race that you need to do. I don't know what the fuel numbers are, but maybe they're trying to get a short stop out of the way.
Yeah, possibly. Unfortunately, I didn't get the briefing notes to know what fuel restrictions are in place on this one, so we'll just have to work that out as we go. If everybody else starts to jump in earlier, there's obviously definitely some fuel tank restrictions going on.
Yeah, especially to see that earlier.
I think actually Alex Marshall's around. If he's listening to the broadcast, he might be able to tell us, because yeah, we haven't got that info up in the box at the moment. Uh, 8.5 seconds is your lead live gap, that is, so just on screen it's showing us 7.8. Ah, there we go. Apparently Ian got a jump start penalty. So
Oh.
that's why he had to come in. So he's come in at the end of the third lap, of course. But yeah.
That's the last thing you want. I'm just gonna have a look now, and I'm having a look back at that race start. Oh, okay. He's rolled through the box early. It must have been when he picked up the gear, and it's rolled through on the clutch, and it stopped. He stopped. Oh, I'd say he stopped inside the box, but he must have just tripped the beam, and it set it off. So we had a stop-go penalty for it.
Having a look at Tobias out there, just doing his thing. He's absolutely in the middle of no man's land now. 6.3 seconds ahead of Hammond, 8.3 behind our leader. So he is just coasting. Yeah, so I'm just hearing as well, there is no fuel restrictions as well, so that makes sense then. So it wasn't an early stop due to that, as we found out through the penalty as well. So currently sitting P4, we've got Jezreen as well, so he's doing a solid job. Not the quickest as far as lap times go, 8 minute 32 last lap, but still very very consistent. Pulling away quite nicely from Crow behind him in 5th place as well, who's just having a little moment. It is as we jumped, catch his Audi just going all up and over the curbs. Newton still trying to close in on him as well. Probably the closest battle now, 2.4 seconds between those two.
Yeah, I'd say that's about the closest we've got out on track. Everyone is very spread out at the moment. And yeah, I think Newton was about half a second slower last time round compared to Lachlan, but that could be gained anywhere in this track. So he's definitely pushing on to try and make up that ground to Lachlan in front.
Sorry about that, just something going on with the mic. I said that was the closest battle, but all of a sudden Martin's coming under a bit of pressure from
Oh, he's run wide.
Oh, Nuno, and he makes a big mistake.
Don't come out in front of Paul. He's hit him.
And that was Paul there that got tagged up in that as well. I have to say that's shocking driving. That's not good at all.
Oh, he's gonna reverse out in front of Ian Ford. Oh, Ian Ford has been absolutely destroyed as well. Nuno just reversed back in front of Ford, and that day will be done there as well.
I'm just going to go on board with Paul, and then we'll jump straight on to Ian as well. I mean, sorry, I'm not one to name and shame, but one of the basic things you've got to do is hold your brake pedal. Look at your F3. You can see when people are coming. Don't drive out in front of them. I mean, it's just so poor. Paul had nowhere to go there whatsoever, and I think we're going to see this next one here as well and see exactly what happened. Oh, straight across.
Yeah, straight across.
It's just so bad,
Yeah, it was.
It just... Right. Move on.
I thought with the smaller field, yeah, it wouldn't be like that. But yeah, unfortunately, Ian Ford is trying to limp at home now. He's going to have Frederick go around him now.
Somewhere all over the shot again. I mean, that's one of the things there that the admins need to take a stern view on of that, because that's, people make mistakes, fair enough, but if you just moved forward and took somebody else out, the last thing you do is reverse back and take somebody else out. You definitely check your delta and your F3 and relative and make sure no one's coming when you reverse again. So yeah.
3 cars out in one lap. I think Paul Nielsen's had that car is done. I'd say Nuno Tang's car will be done as well. I think Ford's trying to limp it back together. I think there's a couple of quick repairs. There is 4, so I think Ian's trying to limp it back. I don't know how well that's going to be done because that car has had it a lot.
It's a right mess.
Yeah.
But yeah, if he can get it back, then he's going to be able to continue. This is the things you see. You make. We were talking off air at the start. You know, so many different things can affect your race and how it pans out. And you know, prime example here, jump start. You know, we would have thought, well, okay, 3 laps. I've built up a nice little lead. I'm still in a reasonable place. Won't be too bad. Hits, but then comes out behind someone who does that, and that's race over. Without the jump start, he would never have been involved in that. So, you know, massive consequences for it in the end.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, sometimes those things happen. You just got to take it and try and get as maximum points as you can. Especially for Simon Feigl, who was, I think, 2nd or 3rd in the championship, and pretty close to Anthony Winkelman and Tobias. We're having a good scrap in the championship. So for Simon to be struggling at the moment, well, no fault of their own. Okay, Ian Ford made a mistake on the penalty jump start, but yeah, with the damage at the moment, they're just going to try and limp it, and I'd say they'll just get as many points as they can, and someone else could make a mistake, like we were saying before, Alex. A lot of people can make mistakes around here, and if they do make a mistake, they could gain from it and pick up a couple of the spots here and there, which could be some more points.
Exactly, and you know, we were talking earlier about, you know, the BSR race where Kraft put it into the wall, so you know, that can happen at absolutely any time of the race. That was the last lap of the race, and you know, we could see exactly the same thing again.
Yeah, we could definitely see it. I'm just having a look. I think Newton's closed up pretty nicely to Lachlan on this lap. Oh, it's Lachlan. As I say that, commentator's curse. Lachlan goes off, and Newton goes through. Yeah, that ended that battle quite quickly.
Yeah, it did. He had closed up as well quite a bit, so it was down to sort of 1.5 seconds compared to sort of that 2.5 they'd been sat at for a little while. So, but yeah, through and by. So 5th place now for Newton. He was what, 3 seconds slower than P4 right now. Yeah. So. Yeah, he's going to have to really pick it up if he's going to close that gap up. It's 20 seconds is the gap as well between them, so can't see that happening. He's going to any other positions that he gets now are really going to be through for attrition, I think.
Yeah, I think that's the only thing that's gonna be able to get out of this one at the moment. But you never know. Pit stop strategy. You could get a speeding penalty. Wouldn't that hurt around here? That's one thing you don't want to get. But you'd hope you don't get it on the lap out, way out of the pits, because then you'll have to come back around and pit again. But that could be another thing that could play in, especially with the pit strategy. And also with these guys, I'm just having a look, I think a lot of them do have a co-driver, but if someone doesn't have a co-driver and are unable to get their minimum laps done, I don't think that will be looked well upon by the race admins and that after the race.
Well, Lars is in the car now as well, and he's just gone past Ian as well, so took a little while for him to be allowed to be released, of course, the way the tow system works. Well, I'm trying to remember where they were when they dropped, so they were sort of about 3/4 of the way around the lap, weren't they? So it wouldn't have been too bad, maybe looks like sort of 2-3 minutes or something like that he had to wait, but not the 10 or 12 that it can be.
Yeah, if it happened at the start of the lap, it could have been much worse than what it is, and Ian Ford's just got it to the pits, and that car is just, that's had it. That is how you mess up one very expensive Mercedes SLS AMG race car right there. It is absolutely destroyed trying to limp it down the pit lane now, but most of the field is very spread out, and yeah, it was good to see that Lars was straight away able to jump back in and put as much as he could into the car. Yeah, he's about 2 minutes 28, but at least he's back on the track and able to benefit from other people making mistakes.
And that's how you get a brand new one. No. It's like magic. Ta-da! So that'll work quite nicely. It was worth the pain, wasn't it, really, just to lap it around there, because I think they've got enough pace with an hour left of this race to still close in on people who are sort of around 6th or 7th. So, you know, Simon's still going to be able to get a whole load of points. They're just waiting for the driver swap to count down now before he gets released, and there he goes.
Yeah, I was just having a look then as well. Ian Ford's done 3 laps, so that may, I don't know what the fuel numbers is, but that could actually get them straight to the finish now.
An hour and 1 minute left of this race, so I genuinely think he could probably make it here. So that could be his pit stop done. I mean, yes, he's had to go through the pain of doing that lap there in the pit stop before, but like I say, I think they have got enough pace that we could see them still sort of kicking around that sort of 6th, 7th, 8th spot in this race. And when you look at the points, there's not a great deal of difference from there, which would be pretty good recovery drive, to be honest, as far as Simon's concerned for his championship, and definitely gives him something to work on going into the final 2 rounds.
Yeah, that's right. And I think it's 3 laps the minimum that each driver has to do. So for Ian Ford to at least get that done out of the way, Simon can just push as hard as he can if they have enough fuel and just make it last to the end. And I think, yeah, definitely be looking for maybe definitely inside the top 10. They've only got to make up another couple of spots, but 7th to 6th won't be too far out of their reach.
Having a quick look through the order, people that we haven't looked at the moment, just looking at Federico in 9th place right now. Got a little bit of damage on his rear wing, so guess he's had a little run-in with a barrier somewhere. Not entirely sure where, and a little bit of damage on the... Yeah, there's a bit of damage on the left-hand side as well of the car, so... Yeah, he's had... yeah, it looks like he's having some fun out there.
Yeah, it's a bit like that. Which fence did he hit and find it and find the witness mark? You may be there for a couple of hours trying to find the body panels that were left behind, but it looks like Gary Cousins actually closing on him after his spin, and I'd say early pit stop as well from Gary, so he'll be pushing to try and make up some ground as well.
Yeah, unusual to see the laser car down there. So like you say, I think what was it, 8:45 last lap, so caught up 15 seconds that last lap, so yeah, it's crazy to say figures like that over a lap.
Yeah. And we're so used to the small laps of like, oh yeah, you gained half a second or a couple of tenths, to say, oh yeah, you gained 15 seconds. It's like, what track are we at? But then, yeah, the Nordschleife does that to the sort of gaps in the race times. And when you think of it, Gary Cousins was actually, I think it's about 20 seconds slower compared to Anthony Winkelmann, which is like, wow, like, how can he be that much slower? But that's just the nature of this track. Oh!
Was that Federico into the wall?
Yeah,
yes,
that was.
It was.
Massive hit into the fence.
Oh.
The car actually lifted on 2 wheels as well. It was a hard lick to the outside wall.
Well, that should even it up a little bit, shouldn't it? He had damage on the right, and now he's got damage on the left. Nope, apparently not. Traveling all over the place. So obviously a little bit, hit it harder. Hit it more on the left-hand side, Federico. It'll drive straight.
It just smashed the left front wheel in. It'll fix the toe out on the right side. It'll give you toe on the left side, and it'll just straighten the steering wheel for you.
And it wouldn't be the craziest thing that the car would go quicker. I'll tell you what, because I have seen that. Oh, Lachlan got some problems for him. Is that a disconnect or is that into the wall? Have a little replay.
Trying to have a look.
Go back a bit further.
Yep, disconnect.
Oh.
Another one.
We have seen some issues with the servers today, which has been a bit unfortunate. Been very flaky for people. Yeah, just a straight buff gone. That's a shame for him. You know,
He was having a good drive as well in P6, just sort of minding his own and getting the job done there. And yeah, it's sad to see some of these guys suffering from good positions just through a little bit of a server error.
Yeah, half an hour in as well. That's that's where you've reached that point where you're pretty upset as well when that happens.
Yeah.
You've done a fair bit of work already. The race was going fairly well. I mean, just lost that place to Scott, of course, but still within reach to get that back. But yeah, 2 hours of practice and a half hour of the race, you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Lars closing in on Federico as well. Has to check right up so he doesn't hit that BMW there as well. Could have been an easy mistake to make, but back up to 9th place. Trying to see, he's 22.8 seconds behind Gary Cousins as well, so I dare say Lars is going to be pretty quick round here. Very fast driver, like you say, pro driver. I think didn't see what his lap times were in qualifying or anything like that, so
8:21 in qualifying.
8:20.
Hayden Burns is actually faster in qualifying with an 8:20. So second off there, but that's nothing around here. Lars will be able to pick a second up, knowing how much of a good driver he is in that car. So he'll pick that up and he'll be pushing on.
He's going to be closing in on the guys ahead of him at about 20 seconds a lap. Oh, DK Lee. Wow, he's going to be closing in on DK Lee a lot quicker now, I'll tell you that. So let's take a quick look at that back and see exactly how that happened. So just saw the car stationary with no hood. Oh, there it is. Hard hit into the Armco.
Yeah, no safer barriers there.
Yeah, I know. So, oh, has he got him? I thought he got himself wedged on the curb for a minute as well. But yeah, he just decided the car is not even going to be able to get it back to the pits, so just gapes out and yeah, we'll get a tow, of course, but yeah, that's going to take a few minutes.
Yeah, actually, in that position, it may have been actually better off for him just to try and trundle down that long straightaway, and that's sort of where he was. He only had to make a couple more, a left and a right, I think it is, and then he'd be on that long straightaway, and then he'd just go down into the pits. So I don't know how long the tow would be from there. It'd be still a couple of minutes, so it's still costly.
Having a look at Tobias as well. Lap times have equaled out quite a bit with Winkleman, but he's still 11.4 seconds back. I think had Tobias got past Hammond fairly quickly and could have seen Winkleman, I think there would have been quite a good little battle between them, because there's nothing like having a car to help spot your braking points and turn in and all that sort of thing just ahead of you, so you can you can sort of use them to try and improve your own pace. But he hasn't had that, and he's just sort of at 6 seconds, I think it was, wasn't it? 6.5 seconds when he got through. So yeah, he's lost another 6 seconds, but yeah, it's a shame for us. It'd have been nice to have seen a battle at the front.
Yeah, it would have been good, especially between Tobias and Anthony. They've been putting on the show all season with a bunch of the other drivers as well up the front, and they've been doing a good job. So good to see them still out there. But yeah, 11 seconds could make it up in pitch strategy. You never know. Especially they got to put. I think we've got Nathan Grout and then Alex Cherney into the cars somewhere along the lines. I'd say towards the end. So to get a minimum lap number. So they could tighten up between the front two at the end.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what the time difference is between what was Nathan doing in practice. Have you got that, or qualifying? Have you got that info to hand? What was Alex doing?
Well, yeah, I just had a look at Alex, and Alex actually didn't put a lap in the long 2-hour qualifying session, so unsure about his overall pace. Just having a look now at the Green Hornet car, Nathan Grouden did a 8:22 in qualifying, was his fastest lap time. So I'd say they could be around the same pace. Alex, don't know, but that'll be interesting. It's a little bit of other strategy that could bring these two together.
I mean, Alex is normally only about a couple of tenths of a second off of his brother as well, so it's not going to be a great deal. And if he knows the track better than Tobias, then I would think that time could be evened out a little bit there. So yeah, it should be interesting to see how this one's going to unfold then. As looking at our 4th place man right now, ran a little bit wide, and I think he was worried about the barrier for a moment there, but yeah, in the end, all good.
Yeah, I can't say they're not pushing some of them. He's Yozrin Yardley definitely trying to push as hard as he can. He's just in a bit of no man's land. A lot of them are at the moment. He's like a good 20 seconds behind Hammond in front of him, and then he's about 20 seconds in front of Scott Newton. So he's just in a bit of a gap where he can just sort of comfortably just hold on to the position and just try and make sure he doesn't hit any of those Armco barriers.
Had some obviously driver swaps going there. So Simon Jorge Sanchez into the car after his teammate just that last lap buried it into the wall. Yeah, all the repairs nicely done as well, just like we saw earlier on with Simon as well. So it's back and underway. Another driver that's jumped in as well is Dongru Kim there as well. He's in. Yeah,
and I was just having a look as well. We got Matthew Trotman's jumped into the Lachlan Crow car. So they've obviously he's just jumped in to fill that secondary driver spot now.
I have to say, I do love the chicane on the combined circuit when it's a bit more open rather than that tight, horrible one you get on the GP circuit. Why the heck did they ever add that in? That's the worst chicane ever, I swear.
Yeah, it's a difficult area of the track, really. It's so painfully hard to get through that tight section. I love the flowing sections of this track. Like the Nurburgring layout, I wouldn't really say the Nordschleife layout. There's so many corners, you got to figure out which section you're talking about. But yeah, through that chicane, definitely the faster flowing section that we're using here today is much preferred for a lot of teams, I'd say.
I'm going to look at some drivers a bit further down, just looking at Martin right now in 6th place. So it's a pretty uneventful race. I had those few guys chasing him down for a little while at the start, but just being able to eke away, and then of course there's that crash behind him took care of the rest of them. So
yeah, the crash sort of very much spread the field out.
Yeah, he's got 55.6 second gap behind him at the minute, so he's not under much pressure out there, really.
Yeah, I'd just say just floating around, just doing what he can to get the car through the finish. It actually looks pretty clean, so he's doing a good job.
Yeah, a bit of a Sunday afternoon drive, really. Just going out there and just enjoy it. And I think, I think if he keeps his car as tidy as it is right now, he might still gain another place. I get the feeling we're going to lose one of the top 5 by the end of this race. Someone's just going to push it a little bit too hard.
Yeah. It wouldn't surprise me if one of the top 3 do it in that sort of sense, pushing that extra little bit hard, especially the co-drivers getting in the car. Could just push it over that limit, make one little error, and it's easy to make here, and it could all spell disaster.
Not the biggest gap behind at the moment, as I have to say, because Simon is 1 minute 11 behind Lars Jefferson, so that's the gap between 8th and 9th. We know obviously both these drivers have had their problems, and that was with obviously the jump start and the hit, and of course the disconnection as well. And we actually got Ian waiting for a quick chat, so while we're looking at Simon, we'll bring him up and have a little word. Ian, welcome to the booth, buddy. Well, not the first stint you were hoping for, I dare say.
No, definitely not the first stint that I was aiming for there. It was a bit of a crazy start. Pedals played up and actually jumped the start, and then absolutely drove my ass off. Oh, sorry about the language, but driving as fast as I could, trying to make a gap and try and stay as close to the main pack of the field as I could when I pitted. And yeah, didn't expect a BMW reversing across the track in front of me. That's a new one, but it's 2 weeks in a row, so at least I'm keeping consistent.
Oh well, as long as we're consistent, that's all that matters. We often go on about consistency here, so woohoo! Get in there. But yeah, no, pretty shocking. Obviously, we picked up on it. I don't want to go on too much about it because I give him hard enough time already. But yeah, obviously Paul unfortunately got taken out in exactly the same incident as well. But the car was going forwards this time instead of backwards. So yeah, he was 2 for 2. So not the best.
No, but we'll move on from that. What's done is done, and Simon's in the car now, absolutely giving his all, trying to close the gap on the field. And I think we're about half a lap shy of fuel, so I'll have to go over there and talk to him in a bit. But other than that, it's an absolute pleasure driving these cars full tilt around the Nurburgring. Nothing better in the world, I don't think. So we'll just keep on enjoying the race and see where we end up.
It's a shame that you said that you're half a lap short, because I honestly thought, looking at sort of the times that you guys were able to do, that there was a potential still to sort of make it around 5th or 6th place, depending on sort of attrition and things like that, which wouldn't have been too bad for Simon's championship.
Yeah, we're certainly not ruling out 4th place. There's definite ways from other different cars like the V8 and stuff like that you can absolutely fuel save, to live and death out of the car. So we'll see what we can do, and hopefully we make it to the finish up at around the top 5. So, and yeah, hopefully Simon gets a decent shot at the championship. This race hasn't got a plan, but hell, at least we're having fun.
Good to hear. All right, Ian. Thank you very much, mate. Yeah, best of luck for you and your teammate for the rest of the race, and yeah, hope you can make it all the way to the end from here.
Thank you. We'll try our best.
Half a lap. That seems like a lot to save to me.
Yeah, it does. Half a lap.
Now, half a lap at normal track. Well, no problem. But you're
Half a
talking.
lap at the Nordschleife.
Yeah, you're talking 4 minutes 10 worth of fuel. So that's yeah. I tell you, if they make it, that's an amazing job. So we'll see what they do. I just worry that they'll have to compromise their pace. Mixtures will be reduced and all sorts. But it might be worth it because I think what's a pit stop for a splash of fuel going to cost? Probably about 40 seconds, something like that.
Yeah, something around there would be close to that. But then again, you got to think, how much do you have to save a lap? You could be having to save 20 seconds a lap. Is it worth just coming in and chucking 10 seconds worth of fuel in the car? It's a hard thing to play, especially because of the Nordschleife. It's so long. When you think half a lap of fuel, it's actually a lot of fuel to put in the car. So to think, I don't know. That'd be pretty borderline. Do you pit or do you stay out?
Yeah, I guess they'll probably give it 1 or 2 laps and see if he can get his fuel figures to align with the end of the race. If he can't, then yeah, it'll be a case of full chat for the rest of the race, and we'll pit and splash of fuel and not worry about it, sort of thing. So make the call early. Don't try and eke it out, and just fall horribly short. Have the figures ready so you know exactly what you need to hit to make it to the end, and if you can't deliver it, then yeah, move on very, very quickly.
Yeah, that's right. Well, he just did an 8-minute 27 lap time, Simon Feigl, so he's not letting off the pace that much at the moment. He's still pushing pretty hard.
So only 2 seconds quicker than Lars Jepperson ahead. So that's that 1 minute 10 gap isn't going to come down. So Lars is going to make his way up through. But of course they were both 10 seconds quicker than like Scott Newton and Martin ahead of them. So good potential to catch up on those. Although that is, what is that? That's 56 seconds for Lars that he would have to catch up. So, but don't forget these drivers need a pit stop as well. I'm trying to remember when Nathan, who had his disconnect, when that was that about half-hour mark? Wasn't it? Or was it a lot earlier than that? Can't remember. I don't know if, I was trying to work out if Lars has got enough fuel or not, or if Lars is going to have to pit as well.
Yeah, I'm just having a look now. Hayden only did 1 lap in the car.
Oh, okay, fine. No, then.
Yeah,
no chance. It might be 20 minutes or so.
Yeah. So I'd say Lars will be pitting somewhere along the way to get a couple of fuel in there as well.
Yeah, I wonder if we'll be seeing people in the pits as well, because we reached the halfway stage of the race. Winkleman's still doing a great job out there, lapping ridiculously consistent for this circuit, I have to say. Scary consistent, actually.
Very scary consistent, just looking at the times now, wow.
And then, yeah, I mean, Tobias doing a great job as well, but 15, 16 seconds behind now. I think, yeah, will he go? I think he'll probably try and eke his fuel out all the way, full tank of fuel and go, because when you're that confident in the car, and then his teammate's just going to have a half hour in the car or so just to bring it home and just manage that gap, really, to what will be Alex Cherney when he jumps in.
Yeah, I think that's the best bet for Anthony right now, try and maximise his laps in this car. I'd say Nathan Groudon won't be too much off the pace. He was a couple of seconds off in qualifying, yeah, as practice, qualifying / practice. So he'll be around about a couple of seconds slower. But yeah, if Anthony can continue this pace for a couple of laps, 1 or 2 more laps before the pit stop, he'll be looking in a pretty good position.
Yeah, should extend out his lead in the championship. Or sorry, after the mistake, just get himself right back in there, should we say? So, yeah, I think looking at other drivers out there right now, it's just a case of they're all settling in, just doing their thing as well. Lap times have improved all round, so there's nothing like having to force yourself to do a race to build up consistency and pace around a track like this as well. So easy just to go, alright, I'm going to learn this track and just go absolutely balls to the wall, so to speak, and then you don't learn anything because you're just ricocheting off the barriers everywhere. But when you're forced to keep it on the on the black stuff, it makes such a difference.
Yeah, it does. It makes a massive difference. That's the thing a lot of people forget when you're learning is I've just had a look. Paul Nelson back in the car just had a little 3/4 spin. He's actually kept going now. He's just reverse in the rough and has got back going straight away. But yeah, it's the hardest thing, trying to learn a track in race while trying to keep it off everything you can so you don't damage it and lose time through mistakes. It's difficult enough, and then you just say, oh yeah, you're doing it at the Nordschleife as well. It's just another level.
You can see the leaders on the same bit of circuit. They're separated by 17 seconds, but that just goes to show you how long that straight section is right now. And Hammond, who's 19.9 seconds behind Tobias as well. So crazy long straight there as well. So
yeah, it's interesting that Anthony McCall's actually gone for another lap as well. So he's obviously got the confidence. I'm going to have a look, and yep, so in comes Tobias Cherney now. So his brother's going to get in the car, and this will be a bit of a point that we've got to make sure we keep an eye on, because we've got to have a look at Alex Cherney's laps and see how fast he is in comparison, because he could be able to start to close a gap or bridge it depending on what his pace is. Usually about the same as his brother, like you were saying before, Alex, so he shouldn't be too far off the pace.
Yeah, Hammond's in as well, so I thought that would be the case. So, you know, they're over that 45-minute window, so they would have had a shorter fuel at the start of the race. Obviously decided not to do that. So yeah, Cherney in to the car. Alex, that didn't work at all, did it? But yeah, so I think I tell you what, this is just going to push. If they filled that car full at the start of this race, then they're going to be way ahead of the rest, because it's just going to be they're going to be so much further ahead, aren't they? But
yeah.
What? It's about 10-15 seconds worth of fuel less that they have to put in. Maybe 15's a bit of an exaggeration, but 10 at least.
Yeah, 10 at least. And Yajo and Yali's in as well from P4, so wouldn't be surprised Scott Newton goes another lap. So they've obviously filled the Apex Racing car up as well, so they'll push for another lap. Don't know if any of these guys are. I think, yeah, Alex has already left the pits, so just going to slot in there.
Well, that'll be interesting to see what it is, because there wasn't a huge margin between Scott and what is now Chandra Yong. There was only about I think it was about 18 seconds, something like that. So depending on the the time that is saved with the fuel, and if they have topped it up all the way to the brim for the start of the race, they're only going to need a splash now. They could be very close. It'd be interesting to see what Alex Marshall's pace is like when he gets in the car compared to Chandra Yong. And just hearing from Hayden, unfortunately, a nice Windows Auto update for him killed him there. So just what you need.
Love the good old Windows update in the middle of everything that you're doing. Always loves to spoil your fun.
They're much worse on Windows 10 now as well, because they just come all the time and just kill everything. So it's,
oh god.
Yeah.
I'm happy I'm still on Windows 7.
You've got to say no to these things. Although the updates and the scheduling and things like that has got beyond a joke with how aggressive they're being with that now. So I work in the industry, and I tell you the customers are going mental over it at the moment. So. So just hearing as well that the Apex Racing team have been running Mix 5 all race long. They didn't realise they were on Mix 5, so that should speed them up a little bit.
There'll be some pace gain, maybe. Well, that just threw another spanner in the works then, because who knows where that'll put Alex Marshall when he gets in the car compared to the other guys. Because if they've been running on obviously mix 5, you change that mix for the next stint. He'll come in, finish this lap, or obviously have they got enough fuel to make this lap around? If they did turn it up, pardon me, you'd have to hope that they leave it at mix 5 for this lap, and then just do the swap and then just change it and let Alex just have a go at it.
Yeah, just watching him go. Just a few more people have had the pit now. Who else has? Really looking at Winkleman and Newton that haven't, I think. Everybody else has, although some of them aren't shown on my timing screen as pitted. They certainly have.
I wonder when Lars Jefferson then will come in, just having a look at him now in comparison, because obviously they had the incident with Hayden having the Windows update early on, so then they'd be coming in pretty soon. I'd say Hayden will then have to get back in the car because he hasn't completed the minimum laps. Not 100% sure on that.
Yeah, he's going to have to do 3, isn't he, regardless, so... Sorry, just a little distraction there.
No, it's all good. Trying to find something on the track. It's very spread out, and the thing is now we just got to wait for the leader, Winkleman, and obviously Scott and Newton. I think are the only two who haven't come in and see where they sort of dropped themselves. And then obviously we got to factor in Simon Fogel trying to save fuel, as well as Yahaji Epperson, and when he's going to come in.
Yeah, of course, Simon is a lot closer to a lot of drivers now as well. He's only, well, he's 49 seconds behind Mark here in the, they've had their pit 2, so, yeah. What sort of lap times? 10 seconds quicker, so that's going to be a bit of a push. We've only really got 3, maybe 4 laps. It's going to be close, very close. But, yeah, if he has to save too much fuel. Lars on Chandra Young, that's 2.5 seconds, but we're expecting Lars to have to dive into the pits and Hayden jump in as well because of that. So have that driver swap minimum participation. So that's going to be a problem. That's going to be what, 30-second pit stop? Just waiting for the driver swap to happen.
Yeah, at least 30 seconds just on the driver swap alone. Let alone how much fuel or tyres are they going to put on it. So they may actually drop behind the ERA boys of Simon Weigel and Ian Ford, maybe even Gary Cousins and Daniel Leet in the laser racing car.
A quick look at Jason Bentz as well. Sitting there in 4th place. He is, well, he's about 30 seconds behind Alex Cherney now, so no chance I think of him closing up. That times was a little slower that last time as well. Alex Cherney did a 131, yeah, I wish. Or he wishes. An 8:31. So not going to have any trouble from behind, but moving forward, that's reasonable pace, you know. And when Winkleman does make his stop, you know, they're gonna have to push after that. They're not going to be able to just take it easy for the final half an hour.
No, definitely not going to have to take it easy. And Anthony Winkleman now coming down the long back straight will be coming up to enter the Nurburgring section of
Must be coming in, surely.
Yeah,
we've reached an hour. You know, this will be an hour and 8 minutes.
Yep. Man, pushing on the entry to pits.
Yeah, it doesn't want to give any time up. So yeah, excellent stint from him as well. Top class. The car is immaculate. got that, that made the difference. That start, got an awesome start, didn't he? That little bit of wheel spin initially, but he got such great getaway, and then of course, he was just able to have the inside line, and he wheezed Tobias, didn't he, on the inside of the left there as well, and that gave him the gap that he needed. So yeah, Nathan Groden into the car as well. So sure they'll come up with a pretty healthy lead. I expect Scott will probably be in this lap as well, even with the mixture down on 5. Although he might be able to eke another lap out.
Yeah.
But the issue is if he does another lap, it's only going to be about 22 minutes to go.
Yeah, Alex won't be able to complete 3 laps. Maybe he may be able to, but it depends on what the Nordschleife sort of count as an extra lap. That's sort of where you're going to have to try and think whether does he stay out. Yeah, I'd say the best bet will be to come in.
Yeah, you don't want to have a result taken away from you, so...
Nathan Groudon's already left the pits. He has a massive lead over Alex Cherney. Alex hasn't even come across the line. Actually, he's about to do that right now. So that's a massive gain that Nathan Groudon's got to sort of sit on and get the car comfortably to the end.
Wow, look at that. Pit stop time, 32 seconds for Nathan. Let me bring this up on screen. So yeah, so 32 seconds as opposed to Alex, 47 seconds. So
Scott
huge, and that's just been putting all that little amount of fuel in. So say it was short.
Yeah, they've done a good job there to get the numbers right, and it shows on the out in front at the moment. But Scott I think Scott Newton was thinking to go an extra lap, and I'd say Alex told him to come in the pits because he nearly actually hit the pit entry. He was very late to react to come in the pits, but he's come in. They'll do their driver swap now as Alex Marshall will get in the car. Interesting to see whether they have such a short pit stop and they'll be turning up the fuel and going from here.
Yeah, Bence is clearly through. Where I'm trying to think who they were fighting with. It was Chandra Young, really, wasn't it? So and they're coming down the back straight right now. So will they get that jump or not? I think Lars is going to go through definitely, but we expect that he'll be into the pits once again later on, probably next lap or the lap after, because I don't think he's going to be able to make it much further. Alex revving up, ready to go. It's going to be quite close actually. Here comes Chandra.
Sandra's gone by.
Yep, it's pretty close. Definitely gained. Well, actually, only gained 2 seconds in the pits, so 54.4 seconds. So, do you know what I think? I wonder if Nathan they've put the fuel in it, they've done their driver swap, but they've kept the same tyres on because that was so fast that pit stop compared to everybody else. That it looks like they've just kept the same set of boots on that car.
Or they've changed one tyre, who knows? They may have just changed one of the tyres. Yeah, that'll do, and we'll go again. But yeah, going off those times, definitely has obviously not put tyres on, just given Nathan Groudon what was left on the car and just said go have at it.
Yeah, I have to wonder if that's a mistake from Alex and Scott though. I wonder if they've put a whole bunch of fuel into that, too much fuel, because they've only got 27 minutes to go, and fresh set of tyres, whether they could have eked something out with the strategy. I definitely feel like they could have had a fourth, been a lot closer. So, well, the race is on between those guys now. 7 seconds, definitely doable as a gap. We've got 3 laps, I should think, to do it. So it could be 3 plus 1, depending where Nathan crosses the start-finish line. So, I think that's going to be the one that we're going to keep an eye on, I think, for the rest of this race. Everything else is really spaced out.
Yeah, everything's like now starting to get to the 30 plus second bracket of spaced out. The cars are just everywhere, just trying to find someone that could play a show. We've got to remember Lars Jeppersen will be coming in. I'd say he'll come in this lap. I don't think he'll be able to go an extra lap without coming in. Otherwise, Hayden won't be able to complete his minimum laps. I think another thing is Simon Feigl. I don't know whether he's actually catching Mark Simon in P number 7 at the moment. Don't know whether he's close enough, but we've got to remember if Simon can make it on fuel, and Matthew Trotman's actually gaining on them, so that could all maybe bunch up there.
Yeah, Simon's lap times really do reek of somebody having to do a lot of fuel saving out there right now as well. So because we know he's quicker than that. He was a good 8 seconds a lap faster earlier on in the stint. So after his first lap he did. So yeah, it's obviously got to a fuel figure that he feels comfortable that will make it to the end. So now just doing his thing and hoping that he will catch some drivers on the way. I can't see it. I don't think there's going to be enough closure here. And he's certainly not going to get Lars as well. Lars is going to be able to pit and get out before that if it's just it still needs to be a driver swap, doesn't it? So it's still going to be a minimum of 30 seconds. So
30 seconds plus fuel. No.
It'll be close.
Yeah, close.
So.
And I think Matthew Trotman's actually going to be closer in the next couple of laps to Simon Feigl, because he did gain 7 seconds last lap. So you factor that in, a couple of laps, 7 seconds a lap, you're looking at 14 seconds, it's about the gap.
Oh well, we'll keep an eye, see how that one plays out as well. Seems like Marshall is closing in on Chandriyong very, very quickly. That 7 seconds is down to 4.9 already, so Marshall obviously a lot more confident around this circuit. Full fuel as well. Well, sorry, not full fuel, but full full engine map as well. Should get us to push on.
Yeah, definitely pushing on as hard as he can. As you are a little bit sideways, that was Alex, but he's able to hold on to it. But yeah, definitely pushing on to catch Chandriyong. He's just trying to put the car to the end. I think that's what everyone's in, just trying to get into a rhythm, get the car safely to the finish without hitting anything. And the gap out the front is pretty static, and there's a big gap out in front now. I don't think, no matter what Alex Cherney does, we'll be able to close that gap to the Green Hornet racing car.
No, I mean, Nathan's lap times are a little slower than what his teammate was, which I would expect, because they didn't take tyres, and of course now it's a bit heavier and things like that as well, so he's probably just in a bit of cruise control out there too. But still, I think you're right. With a 26.5 second gap, you can just manage that now.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to manage. So yeah, around here you'll be losing time, but I don't think he'll lose too much time to make that a worry for either of them.
Everybody over 10 seconds apart from Chandra and Marshall. Well, it's interesting to see at this particular part of the track, Chandra's faster, because he's pulled the gap from 4.7 to 5.4, so just goes to show how quickly the time can ebb and flow around here.
Yeah, and like we were saying before, it's so much time that you can gain or lose around here in certain sections that you could be stronger or more flowing through or have the car set up for, and that's just where the downforce comes in as well, like we were talking about with Hamilton's car. Obviously had a lot of downforce on the car, not as quick in the straight line, and actually it looked like Alex Marshall wasn't as comfortable through the carousel, so would have lost some time there to Chandriyong through that particular section. And that's all it is, it's just being comfortable around here, knowing the track, understanding what you've got underneath you, and pushing it to the limit. I wouldn't really say pushing it to that limit, because around here you can easily step over that limit.
Yeah, the gap is 6.2 seconds, so yeah, gone back up quite dramatically. 2 seconds closed in a couple of sectors and 2 seconds lost. So, and looks like he's a bit more confident through this area of the track as well as he's closing back in. So it's interesting to watch the live timing from this sort of point of view. Normally you don't really get to see that because it's so tight, the gaps, you know, it's like a tenth of a second or something like that, where here it's sort of half a second, 3/4 of a second in sectors.
Yeah, imagine if we had that knowledge in other series, what we could gain from understanding of who's better in what section of the track. Like you're saying, that the tenth of a second gain here or there is really nothing. You wouldn't even notice it. You could just make a little error a bit wide on a corner, and there's the tenth that you sort of lost compared to the car behind, but it doesn't sort of show where you're stronger. So showing a couple of seconds here or there can show massive differences in where your car is quick compared to your competitors, and you can sort of balance out a setup from that.
I have to wonder though if when you get to events and series like the VLN, when they just drive this track in real life, if it's the same again. Anyone trying to commentate on it is just like, oh, he's a tenth of a second quicker through that sector, again. Just because you're so used to the circuit, they must all know it like the absolute back of the hand, just like we know, like Silverstone or Phillip Island or something like that, And it's exactly the same. It's just a longer lap.
Yeah, pretty much that. I know, because I've obviously, like I was saying, I was competing in the Kia in the VLN, and you're just going to learn, and I've been doing some practice obviously ahead of the next month's race as well, and you start learning little bits of the track where your car's faster, where your car's stronger, and you can actually start tweaking it. And then again, like you were saying, it could just come down to being a tenth here, a tenth there, where the car's quicker because of how much everyone knows the track and where each car is sort of suited, and how each driver sort of goes about what they're doing. And yeah, that may be the case. It'd be interesting to see in the next couple of races at the VLN for the VLN Championship how close it will be, because I think it will be much closer than the first one, seeing as people will be more prepared in a way.
Lars into the pits, so let's see where he comes out. This is going to be a quick stop. He stayed in the car. Now, surprises me. I think that surprises you as well, because surely that's going to be a disqualification, is it not?
Yes. I'm going to have a little sticky beak and see whether I can find any more information, because we don't know. From what we've heard, it is 3-lap minimum for a driver, but I'm going to go and have a little sticky beak and see whether I can actually find any more information on whether it is a certain limitation to that as well.
Oh, Lars loses the car as he comes out of the pits.
He did well to be able to hold on to that.
Oh, he's lost it again. So I'm not quite sure what's going on there. So,
cold tyres, maybe?
Yeah.
It's very weird though.
Quick stop, 16. I wonder if just it's all old tyres and those pressures are just dropped a little bit on them.
Yeah. Alright, yeah, I just found it here. So driver change rules, minimum of 3 laps per driver.
And even with the if you counted the lap that he was on when he disconnected, that's only 2. So yeah, I think there's a bit of a tactical error there from Mad Cow. They've probably just got their eyes set on the in-sim setting, and not actually the regs as far as the league goes. So
yeah, because I'm just reading here as well further on, if the failure to complete the minimum laps, it will either be a disqualification where the second driver does no lap, or a suitable penalty to be decided by a steward depending on the situation. So who knows where they're going to finish, but they certainly won't be finishing where they cross the line. I'd say that it will be dependent on what the stewards think of that, so we'll have to see where they end up.
just looking at Marshall closing in as well. Sorry, Paul. I'm not swapping the cameras around right now. All of my buttons are all different to what you're typing on the chat, so I can't. Yeah, 2.4 seconds is the gap. Trotman 8.7. Like you say, that's 4 seconds it was last time, but definitely an opportunity to catch Simon. Simon's obviously still doing a fair amount of fuel saving out there. 8:30 the last lap, so a little bit quicker. So he feels like he's obviously got the fuel in a reasonable area. I would say still saving, but perhaps not as aggressive as he was having to do a moment ago. I do think we're going to have a battle on track very, very soon between Marshall and Young.
Yeah, I was just having a look at that. Marshall is definitely closing in on Young, but not as much as I was expecting. I thought he would have been all over the back of Young, but Young's doing a good job there in P5. Or at the moment, I think that's P number 4 because Mad Cow pitted that last lap.
Jump on board with Alex. Watch through this section, see if we can spot. We can just about see Chandler in our sights as well. There's a bit of motivation for you when you can see the car in front. I think just gives you that little bit of extra sort of confidence to push because you just want to catch that car up.
Yeah, it's just like use the rope and hook on and try and reel it in as slowly as possible and see that car in front of you just get ever bigger, and definitely a lot of motivation going there to try and catch that car, and especially when you got a car behind you, a lot of motivation to try and keep that car behind you, and certainly mixes with the driver's head to try and push as hard as they can. And it looks like Alex is certainly doing that. You can just see that BMW just off in the distance, but it looks like it's getting bigger.
Just looking at it on the gyro, you can really see the undulations in the circuit from this camera angle as well. It runs a little bit deep, but actually good exit. It just goes to sort of say what we were trying to do at the start of the race with the onboard lap. So sort of the level of detail that they've gone into this as well. Every part of the circuit mapped perfectly.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing what they can do here with iRacing, and Alex! That's the fence.
Well, that's that battle over and done with. I think 27 seconds he's got from Mark behind him.
He's got a lot of left hand down in that car now as well, so he's going to be struggling to try and get it to the pits. I'd say that's what he's going to do. Stick a quick repair on the car and try and get it out.
Yeah, I wonder if he won't try and, even if he gets like a meatball, he'll be able to do another lap, won't he? So
yeah,
just depends how bad it is. I think if it's so bad that he's got a pit, then yes. But otherwise, I think he might try and eke it out. Where's our leader right now? Oh, he's just started another lap. So yeah, that would mean actually have to do 2
laps.
Yeah, another 2 laps. So I don't think. Right, I think a pit stop. Quick repair and back out again is going to be the way to go.
Yeah, I think it will be. And just I was getting onto the subject of how good iRacing can do these tracks, and there goes Alex off into the wall.
We have got battle on track right now though, so Mark and Lars just going at it. I'm confident Lars will get by fairly quickly. Much more pace out there, but it's not easy to overtake in this infield section if the driver ahead just positions his car well on the racing line, doesn't make any mistakes, overshoot the corner or anything like that. So could be a bit frustrating for Lars through this lap. Might have to wait until the straight. Try and use the slipstream the best he can.
Yeah, he may have to use that, but the thing is, I think Mark should just let him through, because obviously Lars is going to have a penalty pending on what it is, obviously, unless he comes in now to stick Hayden in, but I don't think that obviously would have been a mistake than coming in the lap before, I don't know. But the thing with Mark, it would just be easy to let him through and just sit there, because obviously Lars will get that penalty and he should drop behind him.
Yeah, probably doesn't know that though in the car, so
yeah, true. Very true.
I certainly wouldn't want to be giving the place up.
Yeah. Yeah, you never want to give that place up at all. And here we go. Let's see what he's going to do on the draft. I think he's going to be close enough, but I don't know whether the BMW will be able to pull out and get around the Mercedes. I think it's the same issue again as him having less downforce. The more downforce on the Mercedes is obviously hurting it in the straight line.
Well, I don't know. It's coming back now. So.
Mercedes power straight back around the BMW. Well, maybe not.
Yeah, got squeezed a little bit and decided to lift a bit too much through the kink, and that's let Lars up and through. Marshall is into the pits as well, so he decided he absolutely had to. So that's going to allow, Lars through and Mark as well. Both of these guys are going to go through.
What about Simon Feigl? Because he's coming down through this fast section at the end of the back straight now. He'll be on the front straight.
Yeah, that's going to be close.
Right now, that will be very close. Actually, no, Alex has already left the pits. And yeah, damn it. Got our hopes up once again. And I just looking back as well, though, Simon did it at 8 minute 31, and Matthew Trotman is certainly coming at 8 minute 26.9, so that gap is coming down. Yeah,
4.5 seconds, so you're right, that is pretty close. The gap between Marshall and Mark as well, 6 seconds, so Mark did an 8:45 last lap, so we know that Marshall could run in the 8:30s, so definitely an opportunity for him to close up and maybe get a place back and try and finish inside the top 6. That's about all I can really see going on. Groden still very comfortably out front, 16.5 seconds. Gap's come down, I have to say. Groden's just really taking it easy. I think there are no tyres perhaps, and splash of fuel or whatever the strategy was that they did has given them that extra track position, so they didn't really have to push at the end at all. Journey's been quicker, suffering with his connection problems again. This of course is Alex, not Tobias. So yeah, I think it's more something to go on with the server today. I don't know. Yeah, and then Bentz is quite a way behind those guys as well, closing in on a minute behind the leader, the last one they crossed the line. So
yeah, I was just having a look there at Alex Journey's lap. He's done an 8 minute 23.547, then an 8 minute 23.596. Now that is stupidly consistent.
Yep. They're crazy.
Like, that is scary. Around here to be within 0.05 of a second.
That's very impressive. And that sort of pace would have been perfect at the start of the race as well.
Yeah.
So.
That's scary. That's like goosebumps scary around here. 170 turns, and to be within that close of a lap time, that's definitely a good drive right there from Alex Journey. And he was only a couple of tenths off his brother's lap time as well, 4 tenths slower than his brother's 23.1 that he did earlier on. So the pace is definitely there with those Journey brothers.
The Trotman and Feigl on the same shot now as well, 4.2 seconds between them. It's going to be close, so we're expecting this and another lap as well. I think Nathan will get round one, so that it'll be white flag this time.
Yeah, it should be that. It'll be interesting whether Trotman will be able to get him. It's going to be close. It depends on Simon Feigl's fuel, and that's one thing that we don't know at the moment. I could always go and poke my head into the ERA channel and see what is going on in the communications with what fuel levels they got, but they'll definitely be knowing that Trotman is coming, and they'll be trying to push as hard as they can to keep that spot for the points for Simon.
Yeah, I dare say he'll be... we'll find out on that last lap whether or not he starts to run out of fuel on that back straight or not. That's going to be the deciding thing. It's the worst possible place to have a massive straight when you're low on fuel as well, isn't it, really? Because you've got no choice. You've got to be flat out down it, otherwise you're just going to lose an absolute boatload of time. So 2.7 seconds for Marshall to clutch back up to Mark ahead of him. I think he will get there as long as he doesn't make a mistake. We know what happened the last time he was pushing, trying to close in on a driver. We won't go on board again.
You don't want to see that happen again, do you, Alec?
Your poor paint scheme. Fortunately, unlike a real team manager, I'm not sitting here thinking, "Oh, my poor bank balance. I'll have to get that repaired."
Unlike Mercedes were last week with both of the cars
Yeah.
at Catalunya
Oh,
were in
God.
the sand trap. He actually was very pushing hard there. He had the car sideways. He managed to save it. He's still pushing as hard as Alex is trying to catch to Mark. He only needs to just get there and pass him, and he won't. I don't think he'll be able to gain anything from there unless someone makes a mistake. So he's still pushing.
He's got time, hasn't he, as well? Because he's got the rest of this lap and then next lap as well, so plenty of time. I'll tell you what's also going to be a lot closer than what we think it's going to be is the gap to the lead at the end of this as well. It's down to 13 seconds. And then with closure rate at 7 seconds a lap, we could be down to about 5 seconds by the end of this race. Let's just hope that there's no issues with fuel for Nathan. Otherwise, I tell you, they're going to come back.
Oh, Nathan nearly just made a mistake at the last corner. Sorry to cut in there, Alex. He was opposite lock sideways coming on the main straight. He managed to save it. He was still, I don't think he wanted to do that when you would have been coming up to start one of the last laps of the race. To see the car do that would be a bit scary.
We said it earlier on, we'll say it again, it can happen any lap as well, so let's keep an eye. I'm just watching this back on replay just to see what he did as well. He got a whole chunk of curb just before, put him out of line, put him off line, yeah, and you're right. Just got a little wiggle on there, didn't he? Not too bad, but yeah. Just nursing those tyres now, I think. An 8-minute 30.6, so would have been a quicker lap, I think, without that than what he's been doing of late. So probably had a look at that closure speed that Cherney's coming at and thought, well, I'm gonna have to pick this up a little bit. It's gonna be closer than I want. .8 seconds is the gap from Trotman to Simon now as well. That's 8th and 9th battling it out. So, and then Marshall 3.6 seconds from Mark. So these guys are all pretty close. Just finishing off this lap and then have one more to go.
So they're going to have an extra lap to go. So we haven't seen a white flag yet. That's going to be interesting whether Simon will then be able to make it on fuel, because I think they would have been hoping to have only done the 11 laps, I think. I don't know. Actually, no, because these guys haven't even started their final lap.
The leader will just get the checkered flag. That white flag will come out when the clock comes down, but they're nowhere near it, so... Wouldn't be surprised if the leader didn't get the white flag as he went across. It's just we haven't actually seen it yet on our screen. Gap is down to 10.4 seconds as well. So we're going to be under the 10 second mark. So
it's going to be closer than we all thought.
I think it really will be. Execution not great at all. Can't tell how it looks like he's pushing the absolute, to the limit. Cars all over the shop, but I think a lot of that is the connection problems. I think Nathan's picked it up this lap as well. The closure's not quite as much as it was. Looking at where he is on the circuit as well.
I'm just having a look as well, sorry Alex, that we've got Mark, Simon, obviously Alex is catching them, then the gap's pretty close back to Simon Feigl and Matthew Trotman, and just hearing Simon Feigl is fuel saving a lot. He is rolling down that long back straight, and here comes Matthew Trotman, is now all over the back of that Mercedes. You may even be able to have a look coming onto the main straight here. He's going to be very close in that Delta Sim Sport Audi. You can maybe even have a look going down to turn 1, depending on how much Simon is actually fuel saving. Here he goes. He's going to go around the long way around. down the main straight, and I see Simon will roll out of it to save some. Actually, no, he's not. He's going to put up a fight. He's going to hold the inside line, and he's done a good job there.
Yeah, Trotman at Audi looks like it's got good acceleration on it as well. Has a little look one way, switches back to the other. Simon just defending the line. Oh. Don't eat each other, guys. Not after 9 minutes. Yeah, all of a sudden they've dropped way off the back of Marshall as well. So that the fuel savings got critical, I think, for Simon. I think he was probably hoping that he wouldn't have had to have done this this 10th lap. It was just going to be 9. So it's a long old way around this circuit. Normally when it says you've got like 0.8 or 0.9 of a lap, you can limp it across the line. You're going to run out, but you can limp it. But around here, that an extra 0.2 of a lap is it's quite a way.
Yeah, that's the thing, and you don't have reference points as well as to where you can save around here. It's not like a normal track where you've sort of got those points where you can lift off and roll in. Around here, you're trying to think where can you lift off and roll in. There's a lot of points around here that you can do it, but to save that 0.2 or like Ford was saying before, it was what, half a lap, then you need to save as actually Trotman gave him a big hit at Simon in the fence, so that was a bit of a bump and run, but cheeky move there.
Yeah, you're right, definitely cheeky. Well, that's not going to help Simon's fuel efficiency as well. There's nothing worse than having to back up and go forward and try and get the car up to speed. So, what's happened to Lars? Lars is around. Well, we said this can happen on the last lap, and it has done. I think, to be honest, that's probably just saved their disqualification anyway. But what happened? Because that's a pretty major hit. He's had to tow back. Move Marshall up. Marshall's closing in as well. We're going to have to keep an eye on that. Yeah. We'll switch back in just a second. We just want to see what exactly happened here.
That was interesting. Click the curb and it wouldn't just react.
Yeah, exactly. The car just got a little bit loose and just stuffed him into the wall.
Wow. Good job actually getting out of the way of Alex Marshall and Mark coming through there. Which is now very close.
0.3 of a second. This will be for 5th place now. So absolutely everything to go for. Where are the leaders? They can't be too far away. 6.7 seconds is the gap. So he's not going to get there by any means, but it's still pretty close nonetheless.
Especially for an hour-and-a-half long race around the Nordschleife, that's still a pretty close gap to have at the end of it. And it looks like Alex is definitely going to have an attack on Mark Simon any time soon now.
Keep an eye on where Nathan is. I'll work it out. Got a while yet, I think, also, until he finishes this lap. 5.8.
Marshall is right underneath that rear wing of that Mercedes now. This is a tight section of the track that he could have a look at, but there's no real chance for him to. He's going to have to do a throw down the inside through this section. He may be better off just trying to sit behind the Mercedes, but then through the straight line stuff, it may struggle. So we'll see. We have seen that when Lars went past Mark on the straight, that long back straightaway, that he was able to do it. Didn't have the straight line speed of the BMW when it has the draft assisted, too much downforce for the Mercedes, so that may be where Alex may have to have a look.
4.2 at the front.
That's coming down
3.8
considerably fast.
It's coming down very, very fast.
Yeah, they're in the same shot more than this. They're on the back straightaway now.
0.1. Are they just playing with us, or is there some serious fuel going on? 3 seconds.
Yeah, is there some serious fuel saving? I'm going on board here to listen to whether there is some fuel saving. See if I can hear anything.
2.7. 2.6.
There's some fuel saving. I think they're a different mix at the moment, maybe.
0.5, 2.4. They got it covered, I'm sure of it, but it's going to be a lot closer than we thought. 2.3, 2.2. So, as long as they don't run out of fuel, I think they're going to be alright. If they run out and have to, they cough across the line, it could be done. No, here they come. 1.8 seconds, 1.7 seconds. It's going to be under, it's going to be near a second by the time they finish. Wow, congrats to those guys. They got their fuel numbers absolutely bang on. So, and Cherney brothers in second place. So close in the end, just missing out. Benson's going to come across in third. Marshall's dropped off all of a sudden on the back of Mark, so not as confident through this section of the circuit, it would appear. Bent's on the back straight. Wow, they wanted to. Those guys wanted to give us something to worry about on that final lap. That was great. It'd been even better if it had been about 0.2 of a second, but I'll take that. Oh, Marshall around again. Let's let Trotman through. Pushing too much, trying to get that extra position. Bites him once again. Here comes Bentz to take across what will be final podium position. Be happy with that. Good result.
Yeah, good result from them.
Sandra Young will be after that. It's about 1 minute and 40 behind, so we're going to have to wait a little while for this group to come across. Simon's going to pick up. Oh, Marshall stuffs it into the wall. He's not having the best times out there. Sorry, Alex. I really shouldn't be doing. Shouldn't be showing it. So
he's having a wretched time in that BMW. No, in a manager's standpoint, Alex.
Yeah.
Car's a bit beaten up.
But yeah, 7th place for Simon with the team's problems. Obviously, Ford with the penalty, and then obviously getting wipes out in that race. Actually, it could have been a lot worse today.
Yeah, and I think they may make it on fuel, so they've done a good job there. And wouldn't surprise me if Matthew Trotman gains a spot amongst him on. That's going to be close, and we're still waiting on Sandra Young to come across the line. But that gap between Mark Simon and Matthew Trotman is definitely close.
Yeah, Mark's been quick, you know, very quick, in the 20s. Oh! Yeah, have it. Whether or not that Audi's going to have enough pace on that back straight to get this done, I think. Here we go, straight on fight. Surely we'll stick with this while the other guys all cross the line. It's going to slipstream him. Not too much downforce, that gap is closing. Have a look at the speeds, 270 kilometers an hour. I suppose there's like 10 kilometers an hour over speed here. Should be enough to get straight through. And it is indeed straight on by, but will that allow, so early, will Trotman be able to get a run back? Don't think he's going to be able to. It's just actually it was late enough that he was able to not have to worry about that at all.
And while all that was going on, Sandra Young came across in P number 4 there. Good drive from them to finish there.
Yeah, great drive from Trotman to finish 5th, actually. He had to come back quite a way at the end there. So, good job from him. Good job from Mark, and then Simon as well to cross the line. Oh, Alex. Here we go. Let's jump on board. It's got to be an interesting steering wheel angle. Yep, look at that steering wheel. Look about.
Oh,
wow. 90 degrees to the left as he goes through the kink. So. Oh, it steers well to the right though. This next bit should be alright. Oh no! Oh, he's gonna hate me for pointing out. That's it. More damage.
Here it just spinning up on the rear tyres.
Oh, he's going to lose another place. That's Daniel Lee going past.
Daniel Lee just got another spot.
Nicks the spot on the line.
Well done. Oh, Alex. He's had a wretched run today.
We're still waiting for a few people to cross the line. Oh, Simon Jorge Sanchez. His car looks worse than Alex's. No, it doesn't. But it's pretty bad. I don't think we're going to wait for him.
It must have just happened.
Yeah, it couldn't have been too long. I don't think we're going to wait for him to cross the line.
Actually, just happened. He's lost the rear end and it's put it in the fence. It obviously got damage earlier on in the lap. so he's struggling to get it home to the line. But I think that's pretty much it. I think Mark 1 Racing Korea will be the last car that will come across the line at the moment.
Oh, he's around. Oh, sometimes it's better. Oh, he can't even tow, can he? Because there's a car behind him that
Yeah.
would nick that place as well. So.
And it's his teammate's car, so I think he wants to be the one in the team that wins.
It's about a minute. He's got a minute lead. So he should be able to hold on to this. You would hope. Oh no. We're gonna see it. I'll tell you what we'll do while we're seeing this in. We'll bring up Anthony. We'll have a quick word with him. He wants one. Give us a sec. Hey, Anthony, you right to have a quick word?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. We're still watching the last few drivers come across the.
Oh wow. Yeah, okay.
The line. Yeah, some cars in pretty bad state out there, but congratulations. Yeah, great run from you. Really, really long run. I take it the car was absolutely brimmed at the start, and you just basically pushed it as long as you can. Did you take tyres in the stop?
No, we didn't, man. It was a gamble. Do take tyres or not, but we didn't take them, and just that's why we got a good jump at the start, and we were able to pull back the reins and just cruise through and do a bit of fuel saving towards the end there as well, which was good. So we had that buffer which we needed.
Were you under any real threat at the end there, or are we just making it interesting for us?
Yeah, you have to give you guys something to talk about, man.
Yeah, we did wonder.
Yeah, no, we had yeah. I probably was a bit too aggressive on fuel at the start, and we had our strategy still set, and we knew that with that buffer we could do a bit of fuel saving if we had to. So yeah, it worked out well. It was close. It was sort of biting your fingernails at the end, but he knew what he was doing.
Well, I mean, the car looked good out there. You didn't look like you had any real problems. Just what? Oh, sorry, 1 second, 10 seconds. Jake, what do you reckon? Is he going to get ad by his teammate? They're on the back straight.
Yes, maybe some serious blocking may occur. Oh, look at this!
Come on, pedal to the metal. Let's go. It's going to be like through the kink. Oh, you got no chance.
No, he's got no chance now that I see that red BMW closing in ever so quickly.
There he is. Beep beep.
Flash your lights, let you know that it's there. Block him.
Oh well, have a look at the car.
He's free. Oh well, that's that then. Yeah, just to recap on that. Yeah, so the car looked very, very good out there. You know, I think with that start, is that really what you needed? You obviously, we know that the McLaren's quick in the straight line here. Would that have been difficult to get by? Had you not got that jump at the start?
Yeah, well, the plan was always to be able to have Tobias out front and just tuck in behind him and use his draft where we could, and hopefully get some sort of a jump on him through a pit strategy. But it turned out a little bit different. We got a really good start and we were able to clear the pack and just get into a rhythm, and just we had a really solid set for the car, and tyre deg was not really an issue at all.
I guess the key really for here, as far as the set goes, is just to make it as comfortable as you can possibly be, so that you can just do those laps time and time again.
Yeah, exactly right. And we had a set that if we had to push, we could and get some really good times out of it, and it was also nice and well behaved through the corners to slow it down and just get into a nice rhythm.
Well, just a couple of races left of the season to go. Obviously, this perfect for your championship. How you feeling for the final few?
Yeah, man, it was only a few points separating us at the moment before this race, so this was a really important one for us, and even for the team event as well, for the team result to get Green Hornet up the top again. But yeah, look, we've done a few races at Phillip Island, so we should be able to compete, at least put up a decent fight around there. But yeah, looking forward to it, definitely.
Right, awesome. Thanks very much for jumping in. Good luck in the final races. I'm not sure I'll be covering those. It might be Scott, but yeah, all the best of luck from me.
Awesome, boys. Thanks very much again.
Cheers, well done.
Bring up the Cherney brothers. Afternoon, fellas.
Hello.
Well, that was interesting at the end there. Couldn't quite do it though, Alex. I think they're playing with you as well.
Yeah, I thought that too. But first of all, hello Alex, hello Jake. Yeah, I didn't thought that I would get that close again, but yeah, the last lap, Nathan, was really somehow chilling his lap to the end to not make any mistake anymore, and yeah, there was maybe 1 second that I needed to get into the slipstream on the back straight, but unfortunately it wasn't that. The gap was 2.4 seconds, so yeah, but it was a good race for me, I think, and for my brother as well, and so we did a decent second place.
I think-
Actually, it wasn't good. I messed up the first lap. So yeah.
I was gonna say the start obviously was quite important for you guys. Had you been at the front, obviously you'd have been very difficult to overtake, and you know, it'd been totally different racing. It'd been more about strategy then, and whether or not you could have sort of held on to it. So yeah, that start, and then you clipped the wall. Did you just a little bit in turn 2 there as well? So that's
Yeah.
what moved you down to third.
I think even though it's not that good visible because of the server ping issues we had here. Yeah, I clipped the wall slightly, which allowed Michael to get through again, and on my end, everything looked totally fine. Connection as usual. Everything was fine. Cars were not jumping around. And yeah, then I was set behind Michael for half a lap until I got past on the long straight towards the Mutkurve. And yeah, then I was able to drive a bit away, and yeah, in Flensgarten, I hit the curb a bit wrong. And yeah, my car was pointing 45 or even more degrees to the right side towards the barrier at a speed over 200 k's. I don't know how I saved it, but somehow I managed to do so, but got a bit of damage, but wasn't sure how much it is. It somehow still affected my pace a bit, and I made it yeah, I tried to get the best out of the car, but the tires were going away. Yeah, so I came in 1 lap earlier than planned, and Alex did a fantastic job to do also the same lap times and came closer and closer to Nathan up front. Unfortunately, yeah, these 1-2 seconds that these guys had enough, were my fault because I lost them in the first stint.
Well, second place, still a good result. Still good as far as championship points go. You're still in the hunt with a couple of rounds to go. So, you know, all in all, you know, job well done, and gives you something to build on for the final 2 races.
The final 2 races? I think that we'll. If only Phillip Island is coming next week, and then that's it. Or if I'm right.
Sorry, yeah, I might have the wrong table. So sorry, yeah, just the one to go. So the
But
final
yeah,
race then.
Phillip Island is a McLaren killer as well, like Motorsport was, and I mean, obviously Nurburgring has a lot of corners that are perfectly to die in a McLaren. So yeah, I think we did a good job. Hold it on track somehow, and we need to get a better setup for turn 1 in the last corner at Phillip Island. So otherwise, Phillip Island is a quick track. Maybe we are able to stick in the draft of the BMW and or block it like on the straight as we are faster.
Well, wish you all the best of luck on that one. I'll have to watch from the sideline, see how that all pans out, as I'll be getting ready for Montreal. But yeah, should be a good race nonetheless. Well done, guys, on second place.
Well done, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll bring the troublemakers in last but not least. Well, Scott, we'll start with you first, mate. What a great drive you did! All that racing, all in map 5.
Yeah, it was a great drive, eh?
Pushing
Yeah,
the car,
to
but
be
you were
honest-
like, "What's going on? Where's the lap time?"
Yeah, I didn't really notice it until probably the end of lap 5 when I was only doing 250 odd Ks down the massive back straight, heading into the final sector. But yeah, to be honest, I think with the consistency of my lap times kind of helped because I've only managed 1 or 2 complete laps without an off track before this race, and then I managed to do 5 complete ones. And then going wide, I think it was in the start of Sector 6 on lap 6. So, just finishing here is an accomplishment in itself for myself, given the fact that I don't do much GT3 anymore. Even though, as many of the people that race this series know that I used to compete in this one. But, I'm more into the open wheelers, as you know, Alex. So, but yeah, it was a great team effort from Alex Marshall as well.
We'll get come to Alex now because I think Alex had more fun out there than anybody else on the circuit put together. I think so. Yeah, Alex, just tell us a little bit about your run.
It started off okay. I noticed Scott managed to pull a huge gap. I think it was 20 seconds to Chandra's car, his teammate driving it before Chandra did. It was 20 seconds. By the time I came out of the pits, it was 6. So Scott did a great job, especially with the engine map 5. Got my outlap done, and the first flyer just spun it. Went back in. I had a wheel damage, so I had to pit. Got the fast repair. Went out, did the outlap, caught Mark, and binned it again. Hitting too much curb, I think.
My car looked good right at the end there as well, and you
Yeah,
lost the place. Lost the place right on the line as well. Just
I
a
saw
good measure.
Daniel coming up, and I was just screaming at the car, "Go, go, go! Come on, just get across the line!" But it just wouldn't break for that last chicane.
I was only saying while you'll watch it back, I was like, well, the car looks like it's going to turn right, okay, and then you just went straight on.
Yeah, for
I
all
was like, oh no.
all the lefts, I had to use the barriers. I couldn't turn left at all. I was surprised I made the kink. I think I turned my wheel around twice to get it to turn left.
Yeah, it looked pretty excessive from inside the car as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it was a great job by Scott doing everything he did in Fuel Map 5, and also getting the car set up for the race because it felt really good.
Right, you guys look good out there as well with what happened. Still a fair result, I would say. You something to build on for the future. You think about doing like VLN together or something like that, where you can carry on.
To be honest, for me, with the time zone difference, I'm not sure whether the races are on Saturday or Sunday. Definitely Sunday is out for me, given the fact that the races start at probably 10 PM for me, local time, and I have to be up early in the mornings Monday. So just depends on scheduling and all that sort of thing, and our commitments elsewhere as well for everything to sort of marry up and we can do this sort of thing. But we'll have to see, to be honest. Also with what cars are selected as well, because I only really I'm only able to drive the BMW because I've tried the other cars except for the Merc and haven't really got along with them. So, yeah, we'll see from my perspective. I don't know about Alex's.
Yeah, it'd be the same. It's not something we've discussed because of the time zones, and I used to live over that part of the world, so I know how difficult it is trying to manage everything here in the UK.
Well, all the best in the final round. Anyway, Alex, Scott, you going to be back in the booth next week?
Yeah, definitely hoping to. Just in case I'm not there, I'll obviously PM you and let you know. It's just the work commitments and all that sort of thing that kind of get in the way. But usually on a Saturday night, I'm pretty free. So, but other than that, yeah, I will let you know just in case I'm not there.
Cool. All right, fellas. Well done for finishing. You gave us plenty of entertainment in that one anyway, so thoroughly enjoyed that. And yeah, we'll catch you next time.
Yeah, no worries, mate. Cheers, mate, fellas.
Right, Jake. Thank you for joining me in this one. So yeah, a bit longer than normal, hour and a half team event, but yeah, actually went quite quickly in the end.
Yeah, it did, Alex. Thank you. It was awesome race actually. Towards the end, they decided to give us a bit of entertainment and made it very interesting towards the end. And hopefully, next round at Phillip Island, we'll be able to see the championship decided.
Up later on, we've of course got the Kia World Series, so tune in for that. That's tonight, and then tomorrow we've got the iRacing Grand Prix Series, and then it's the Kia Club Series as well. So a lot of racing still here to come over the weekend, Apex Racing TV. So yeah, tune back in. Of course, we're on iRacing Live for all of those as well, so you should see it with the little yellow banner. Just click that and come and say hello, ask us some questions. We're yeah. Should be a good weekend. Thank you everybody for tuning in. It's been Alex Simpson, Jake Blackhall for the endurance round of the Sim Races Asia G Championship. Nathan Groden and oh god, and Winkleman, sorry, took it in epic, playful fashion in the end. And yeah, we'll see you next week, same time for the final round at Phillip Island. Bye.